Every night, I smeared my girlfriend's feet with stinky mud, sprinkle another pound of flour, then immediately pretended to fall asleep. And she wakes up punctually at 3 a.m. every night, quietly pulled off a strand of my hair and went out. I followed the footprints she left on the ground, but I didn't expect it, just as I was about to figure out what she was going to do. But they ran into each other by the roadside, a little girl about to be hit and thrown by a large truck. At the moment of a critical moment, I rushed over without hesitation and saved the little girl. But I was hit 99 meters away, on one's last legs, just as my heart was about to stop beating. A cold mechanical voice exploded in my mind. The Shenhao system is successfully bound. Tycoons have 100 billion in funds, stored in the host's name on Ling Chen's black card. Obtain the Golden Alliance skill. Gain insight into the value of all things. See through people's hearts. Obtain Kunquan Grandmaster level skill, capable of fighting against 100 men. I suddenly open my eyes. I just feel the current body, filled with unprecedented power. You can even clearly see it, and hear a Maybach speeding toward you 15 kilometers away. Less than 3 minutes, a black Maybach was right in front of me. A long, straight leg rushed down. It charged into the crowd like a madman. Duo, where are you? The girl I saved. She burst into tears immediately. The woman hurried forward. He scooped the little girl into his arms. After confirming that the little girl was only scratched, she immediately looked up at me. His eyes were filled with deep gratitude. Sir, thank you for saving Duo. I am Su Wanqing from Su Group. May I ask what you need me to do? The Su family is willing to lose everything, even if it means losing everything. Ling Chen stared at you in front of me. Her information was displayed on the retina. Name, Su Wanqing. Age 25, General Manager of Su Group. Net worth exceeds 800 billion. Before today, it should have been early morning in this city, the best time to turn things around, as long as he climbed into the Su family and receive a huge sum of money. Even now, with 100 billion yuan in the early hours of the morning, it couldn't even catch up with the Su family's fraction. Ling Chen just glanced at him quietly. No. After saying this, he disappeared into the rainy night. Su Wanqing watched Ling Chen's back. Then he said to the assistant behind him, Examine. I want to know all his information within 3 minutes. He is my benefactor. Su Wanqing would never let him disappear just like that. He focused his gaze on the photo of 2 people on the wall. The golden memory retrospective function activated at dawn. He soon found out the mastermind behind his parents' deaths. It was his stepmother, Wang Suifan, and his girlfriend Chen Lu, whom he spends every day with. Every night, he sneaks out to sleep. He was actually going to meet a rich second-generation heir. Very well, then let's start by dealing with our stepmother, Wang Suifan. Then go settle accounts with Chen Lu. She wanted Chen Lu and the rich second-generation heir she had hooked. In the future, they won't even be able to deliver takeout. All they could do was become a beggar passerby. Early the next morning, at dawn, he headed straight for the neighbor's villa. As soon as he entered the door, then the harsh sounds of smashing and smashing came from the hall, and Wang Suifan's hysterical screams. A slap interrupted her crying. At dawn, he pushed open the door and entered. The living room was already in complete disarray. Wang Suifan, who is usually arrogant, at this moment, with disheveled hair, he knelt on the ground. A bright red handprint was left on his face. In the center of the living room, sitting in Jiangqing's underground high-interest loan office, Brother Tiger. Behind him were 4 large hands holding steel pipes. Ling Chen's expression was calm. He stopped and walked in first. It was as if he was completely unfazed by the scene before him. Brother, who saw that Ling Chen actually dared to ignore him, instantly burning with rage, he raised his hand and slapped Ling Chen's face. Joe, this is that useless young master. Ling Chen suddenly turned around to look at Brother whose message also appeared in Ling Chen's mind. Target. Xiao has a combat power of 65. Ordinary people at their peak. Weakness, extremely superstitious, and suffering from strange illnesses. Every midnight, my heart aches sharply. Ling Chen didn't move. He only spoke softly, but Fifth Brother's hand suddenly froze in midair. If your hand touches my face, you'll never be able to pick up chopsticks again in this lifetime. And also, does your angina flare up every night at midnight? Brother whose hand suddenly froze in midair. Even his subordinates didn't know this secret. How could this kid know? Brother whose voice was full of contempt. You can read faces. Ling Chen ignored him. He walked straight toward the overturned shelves, searching for a purple sandalwood box left behind by his mother. Wang Suifan saw that brother who hadn't made a move for a long time. He immediately got up from the ground. Named Xin, Brother Tiger. He was the first in line to inherit, forcing him to sign and transfer the ownership. This house is yours. Tiger G's eyes flickered uncertainly in front of the hundreds of millions in debt. That little fear deep in his heart was nothing. His expression suddenly darkened, and he immediately followed. Brothers, hold this kid down. If he didn't sign today, he'd just lose a finger. Followed by 4 thugs charged toward Ling Chen, swinging steel pipes. Ling Chen sighed with his back to them. Why do you have to force me to get rough? The words did not fall. He turned abruptly. A simple sidekick. Bang! The thug charging at the front. Like being hit by a truck. It was sent flying backward 10 meters. It crashed heavily against the wall. He fainted instantly. The entire venue fell into dead silence. The remaining 3 thugs were so frightened they stopped in their tracks. Instinctively, he swallowed a mouthful of sleepy foam. Ling Chen slowly withdrew his gaze. Fell beside the coffee table. Finally, they found a sandalwood box left behind by his mother. He gently wiped away the dust. He turned to look at Wang Suifan, who was already stunned. You didn't always want this house. And the Ling family estate? Then I'll give it to you now. Wang Suifan was completely stunned and turned to look at brother Hu at Ling Chen. Ling Chen turned to look at brother Hu. A smile curled at the corner of his mouth. He then pulled out the black bank card. Did you bring the card reader? He brought a total of 120 million. Farm them all. At dawn, I threw the card over and the transaction was successful. Wang Suifan's eyes erupted with ecstatic joy. She immediately started trembling. Count your appearance. Since you paid the money for me, we will clear both sides. Get out quickly. This house is now completely mine. But the next second, if it were Ling Chen, he'd be sent straight to hell. Send him straight to hell. Who says I'm just paying off your debt? He looked at Wang Suifan. Wang Suifan's smile gradually froze, her eyes playfully savoring. This money is the cost of buying this claim. From now on, you have to pay me back. Wang Suifan's smile gradually froze. Brother Hu immediately realized. He immediately changed his attitude. He turned and glared fiercely at Wang Suifan. Boss Wang, now your creditor is young Master Ling. By the way, young Master Ling, do you think I can do something for you? Do you need me to collect interest for you? This big fire in the early morning. Ling Chen carried the sandalwood box to the door. He stopped and looked at Wang Suifan. I'll just give you 2 options. First, move out of the villa immediately. Clean up and leave the house. Not even a single piece of clothing is allowed to be taken away. Second, pay off the debt you owe me within 3 days. If you add 1 more second, I'll call the police. I will sue you for fraudulent borrowing and embezzlement of public funds. Embezzlement of public funds. Then, in the early morning, he turned his gaze to brother Hu. If you don't supervise Wang Suifang to finish on time, I will sue you for intentional harm. There was surveillance footage at the entrance. These sins are enough to keep you in prison. With that, Ling Chen strode out of the villa. Immediately behind him, Wang Suifan's heart-wrenching cries rang out, and the noise of brother Hu's group starting to clear the room. Listening to these voices, Ling Chen stood under the dazzling sunlight. He felt an overwhelming sense of comfort all over. But the next second, the system has issued a new task. Please spend 100 million within 2 hours. Failure penalty randomly deducts a certain physical function from the host. For example, forever 3S. The system is pretty ruthless. Ling Chen watched this punishment. The corners of his mouth twitched. Not enough to spend money. This is probably the easiest task in the world. At dawn, he casually hailed a taxi, heading straight to Jiangcheng Dingxing Mall SKP. Just got out of the car at dawn. A red Ferrari roared arrogantly. It suddenly stopped in front of him. The windows are lowered. Sitting inside was none other than his ex-girlfriend, Chen Lu. He took off his sunglasses. His eyes were full of disdain. Isn't it supposed to be early in the morning? I heard you were kicked out of your home to deliver food. How did it end up in such a high-end place? The security guards here wouldn't let beggars in. Back when the Ling family ran into trouble, Chen Lu left Ling Chen behind at lightning speed. She immediately threw herself into the arms of the rich second-generation heir. Ling Chen looked at her, instead of being angry. Instead, a wicked smile curled at the corner of his mouth. Just in time, spending money on tasks, and still missing an audience. Yes, come beg. Ling Chen straightened his sleeves. Smiled brightly. But today, what I wanted wasn't rice. It's the entire mall. At that moment, the car door opened. Chen Lu linked arms with a man wearing a Versace floral shirt. Walked down. The man had green bean eyes. He scanned up and down in the early morning circle. His face was full of playfulness. Lulu, this is your ex-boyfriend who delivers food. The pretty boy looks pretty good. Unfortunately, he was broke. Chen Lu linked arms with the man, laughing so hard that the flowers tremble. Let me introduce it to you at Ling Chen. This is my current husband, Zhang Jiqiang. The family is in the building materials business. His net worth is several hundred million. Hundreds of millions. He deliberately emphasized the words several hundred million several times. his eyes fixed sharply on Ling Chen. It seemed she was hoping to see inferiority and anger on his face, or an expression of utter embarrassment. However, he was disappointed. Ling Chen simply stood there calmly. His gaze was indifferent, as if he were looking at the air on either side. "Get out of the way." Ling Chen stepped forward. Zhang Jiqiang was enraged by Ling Chen's disregard. Shameless, right? He took a step forward, standing in front of Ling Chen. He reached out to push Ling Chen's shoulder. It was in Zhang Jiqiang's hands. Just before dawn, a golden glow flickered deep in Ling Chen's pupils. Zhang Jiqiang's information was revealed. The target, Zhang Jiqiang, is a second-generation nouveau riche. Strong on the outside and strong on the inside. Currently equipped with authentic Versace shirts. Richard Mille RM011 watch. The high-quality replica movement is a domestic single-cylinder movement. Authentic Gucci belt. Financial status, credit card overdrafts. Rob one's belly to cover one's back. Chasing the morning dew. Rented a Ferrari for one day. The rent has not yet been settled. Read. The curve of Ling Chen's mouth instantly became playful. He leaned closer to Zhang Jiqiang. The voice was lowered. It was just enough for a few passers-by nearby to hear. What a pity. Richard Mille's carbon fiber case pattern is a random pattern. Your pattern is a bit too neat. Also, the genuine calendar window is sequential. Now, it's 1:59 frame. Or maybe we wait. Let's see if your watch can jump at exactly 2 o'clock. Zhang Jiqiang's expression changed instantly. This watch is indeed a replica he bought for 3,000 yuan. It was specifically used to trick gold-digging women like Chen Lu. But he never thought of it. A food delivery guy can actually see through you at a glance. You're talking nonsense. I'm really something. You know what a fart. Lulu ignored this mad dog. Let's go to Hermes and buy you a bag. Zhang Jiqiang instinctively covered his wrist. As he spoke, he pulled up the bewildered Chen Lu. They were about to rush into the mall. Clearly, he wanted to escape the scene. I happen to be going in to buy something too. Ling Chen followed behind at a leisurely pace. Zhang Jiqiang seemed to have heard the biggest joke in the world. He stopped in his tracks and mocked. This is SKP. If you could afford a pair of socks here. I ate it right here. Remember your words. Stepping over the revolving door at dawn, we entered the well-air-conditioned shopping mall lobby. The first floor of SKP. It brings together the world's top luxury brands. The air was filled with the scent of expensive fragrances. The hostess at the door bowed respectfully. But when she saw Zhang Jiqiang and Chen Lu, right after walking in, the hostess's eyes clearly lit up. Her smile grew even brighter. Welcome. Zhang Jiqiang tried to reclaim the scene from earlier. He deliberately spoke loudly. Take out the most expensive watch in your store. I want to pick one for my girlfriend. How? Even delivering food comes in to get a ride on the air conditioning. Be careful not to break it, or you might be sold and you won't be able to afford compensation. Several sales consultants in the store. She perceptibly gathered around Zhang Jiqiang. Meanwhile, Ling Chen was left out of the spotlight. Only one had just graduated. A little girl wearing an internship badge. Hesitantly, he walked up to Ling Chen. He handed over a glass of water. Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do to help you? If you're just looking around, that's fine. The little girl's eyes were clear, not because of the early morning, and their clothing reveals disdain. Ling Chen drank a bit of water. I don't watch, Chen Lu said calmly after hearing this. He immediately burst out laughing. Did you hear it? If he doesn't look, I'll just say he's here to get a ride on the air conditioning. Why did the security guard let everyone in? A senior lady walked over. His tone was stiff. Sir, if you don't buy anything, please do not take up our reception resources. There's a rest area over there. Ignored the sales associate at dawn. Instead, he looked at the intern girl in front of him and smiled slightly. He then pointed to the Starry Sky 6102P at the center of the counter. He then glanced over the entire row of Nautiluses nearby. This Starry Sky watch. And this row. I want it all. The entire silence was deathly. Zhang Jiqiang burst into exaggerated laughter. Lulu, did you hear that? He said he wanted all. All of this together is worth over 20 million. Ha ha ha. Is this kid out of his mind delivering food? Sir, please don't joke around. This is Patek Philippe, not a vegetable market. If you keep talking nonsense, I'm going to call the security guard. The senior sales associate's expression instantly darkened. He felt like Ling Chen was causing trouble. My husband's Starry Sky 6102P is priced at 2.8 million yuan, and you need to queue for VIP review qualifications. The intern girl was also terrified. He stammered. Qualified? Ling Chen took it from the pocket of that pair of jeans that cost just a few dozen yuan. Took out a black card. Gently placed it on a glass counter. A crisp sound rang out. Password 68. If you can't brush it out. I ate this counter. The voice at dawn was quiet, yet it carries an irresistible pressure. The intern girl took it with trembling hands. He looked at the manager for help. The manager is a worldly middle-aged man. I've been observing Ling Chen all along. The moment he saw that black card, her pupils suddenly contracted into pin-like shapes. That was the legendary Centurion Infinite Black Gold card. No, this is even more premium than the black gold card material. This is one of only 10 Supreme Dragon cards in the world. Hurry up and swipe to bring the POS machine. I personally brushed it, attached to the dress. Take a barbershop card and you'll be able to return the card. Who are you fooling? I think you can pull it out. Zhang Jiqiang was still smiling. The transaction was successful. The sound of the POS machine dispensing orders. At this moment, it was like God's judgment. The store manager stared at the dizzying long list of receipts. My legs went limp. He almost knelt before Ling Chen. Dear sir, a 28.5 million transaction has been completed. We will pack these watches for you right away. The store manager held a black card in both hands. A 90-degree bow. Their attitude was so humble it reached the dust. At dawn, he casually took that 2.8 million Starry Sky watch, worn on the wrist. He shook it a little. Find a bag to pack the rest. I want to carry it away. Bae, the manager was stunned. Watches worth tens of millions are packed in bags. Zhang Jiqiang and Chen Lu were completely petrified. How is this possible? Wasn't the Lin family bankrupt? Wasn't he kicked out of the house? He didn't even glance at the card just now. Zhang Jiqiang felt his own face. It was as if someone had slapped him hard. It hurts hot. He was just showing off that fake watch worth 1.5 million. He bought over 20 million yuan worth of genuine goods in a flash. They even pack it up like buying cabbage. Chen Lu was even more stunned. Looking at Ling Chen's wrist. That dazzling starry watch. My intestines are regretful. Chen Lu's voice trembled. Morning. Try to squeeze out a charming charm. He shook off Zhang Jiqiang's hand with a smile. Approaching dawn. Ling Chen didn't even glance at her. So you were testing me. In fact, I have never forgotten you. That Zhang Jiqiang just kept pestering me. Don't love him at all. Get lost. Just one word was left out. Then she carries a bag full of luxury watches. Like picking up trash. Who just said they wanted to eat socks? He looked at Zhang Jiqiang, whose face was deathly pale. Zhang Jiqiang took a step back. Crashed into the counter. What do you want? My dad is. I'm not interested in your dad. Ling Chen turned and walked out. He passed by the senior sales associate who looked down on him. The footsteps paused slightly. The sales assistant was trembling all over. The commission for this order was entirely hers. Ling Chen pointed at the young intern. As for you, I don't hope to see you again next time I come. He understood that he was going to fire Xiao Lu right now. Aren't you going to thank this gentleman? Thank you, sir. Your commission today is enough to buy a house in Jiangxing. Step out of Patek Philippe. Ling Chen glanced at the system panel. Spent 28,500 yuan. The remaining quota is 71.5 million. Time remaining, 1 hour and 20 minutes. He walked straight into the Armani flagship store next door. 3 pieces from each of the latest seasonal sizes. The few limited edition crocodile leather cases from Gucci next door. Used to store clothes. The full set of La Mer is packed with 100 sets. Deliver them to the brothers at the delivery station to wipe their hands. The next hour, the entire SKP mall was struck by an unprecedented earthquake. A mysterious tycoon wearing Uniqlo. With a sweeping sweep, they slaughtered major luxury stores. He doesn't even look at the price. Just one sentence. Swipe your card to get your package. The mall's general manager personally brought 20 security guards, following behind, specifically responsible for carrying things. Zhang Jiqiang and Chen Lu are like 2 forgotten clowns. Dai followed behind. Where did he get the money? Chen Lu dug her fingernails into her flesh. Her eyes were red. It is certainly an ill-gotten gain. I'm going to report him. Zhang Jiqiang gritted his teeth. The mall's announcement suddenly started. Dear customers, Imoku SKP will close half an hour early. There is a distinguished guest. I booked the rooftop Sky Garden restaurant and invited the renowned piano master, Mr. Lang Lang. Live performance. The audience was in an uproar, standing at the escalator on the 2nd floor in the early morning. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised. This is also one of the systematically arranged consumption items. Just this one service fee cost 5 million yuan. He glanced at the system panel. Mission accomplished. Current spending amount, 100.5 million. Congratulations to the host for completing their first splurge. Achievement rewards. Cash rebates are distributed. 10x critical hit. 1 billion in cash has been deposited into the account. The 51% share transfer contract for Jiangxing SKP Mall has taken effect. Enhanced by charm. Constitution Enhancement. Ling Chen was momentarily stunned. SKP has become his. The mall's general manager received a call. His face instantly turned pale. He quickly walked up to Ling Chen. Get on one knee. Boss. Not knowing the boss had arrived. There is a loss of distant welcome. I am Wang Dehai, General Manager of SKP. You have acquired 51% of the group's shares. From now on, here, you have the final say. Zhang Jiqiang was so frightened that he fell hard onto the ground. Ling Chen looked at Wang Dehai kneeling on the ground. He nodded lightly. Get up, since I'm the boss. Then I will issue the first order now. He pointed to Zhang Jiqiang and Chen Lu not far away. These two people affect my mood while shopping. After throwing them out, all SKP malls under its umbrella. These two were forbidden from setting foot even a single step. And the man, the fake watch on his hand. Look at it as an eyesore. Help him pick it off. Wang Dehai immediately stood up. Security guard. Do it. 20 security guards charged forward like wolves and tigers. If not at dawn, you can't treat me like this. I'm Lulu. I'm the person you love the most. Chen Lu screamed as she was lifted up to dodge outside. Let me go, I won't let you off. Zhang Jiqiang was still shouting. The next second, he was pinned to the ground, forcibly pulling off the fake watch. Crush it with one foot. The screams faded into the distance. Standing at the highest point of the escalator in the early morning, overlooking this business empire that belongs to him, the phone rang. On the other end of the unfamiliar number. Hello, is this Mr. Ling Chen? I'm Su Wanqing. I heard you just bought SKP. I'm currently at the cafe downstairs from SKP. Some things about company cooperation. Could you please call me to meet in person? A cool but slightly weary female voice came through. So Su Wanqing had been here all along. Sure, I'm hungry too. But I don't drink coffee. I want to eat spicy tang. President Su, are you willing to show some respect? There was 3 seconds of silence on the other end of the line. All right, as long as you're willing to see me. You can eat anything. Hung up the phone at dawn. Smiled brightly. It seems the upcoming games will be even more interesting. The night in Jiangsheng was like a lump of ink that would never melt. The noisy area of Hongxing Street in the old city burned out one bizarre hole after another. A Rolls-Royce Phantom with a license plate, Jiang 88888. Like a noble who accidentally enters slum. Carefully tumbled over the potholes, waterlogged roads. Stopped in front of Fat Sister's spicy hot pot shop. Automatic door unfolding. Su Wanqing came out. Lin Chen, sitting on a plastic red bench by the roadside, looked up. He was holding disposable chopsticks in his hand. By his side, dozens of luxury brands bought from SKP are piled high. Shopping bags, lying on greasy ground like trash. Why does Su always find it dirty? Sit down. The beef meatballs here are the most chewy in all of Jiangsheng. Su Wanqing took a deep breath. She gracefully lifted the hem of her skirt. He sat across from him at dawn. Her back was straight and straight. Mr. Lin is truly humorous. I thought my net worth was 10 billion. Easily by SKP big shots. There are higher requirements for the dining environment. Money is meant to make life freer. It's not for locking yourself. Order the dishes, President Su. Agreed to treat you. Don't hesitate to order just because it's cheap. Su Wanqing looked at the menu and saw that the bowl was 2 yuan. The price of kelp is 1 yuan. Mixed feelings. He investigated early in the morning. The data shows 24 hours ago, he was still someone who only paid a few bucks. Delivery workers desperately fighting in the rain. And now he was sitting across from him. The ocean atmosphere is deep and fast. His presence was deep and powerful. Even she, a seasoned business veteran, couldn't see through it. Just have a little. Su Wanqing put down the menu, looking straight into Ling Chen's eyes. Mr. Lin, let's get down to business. About saving Duo and your acquisition of SKP. Ling Chen raised a finger to his lips. Meals don't discuss official business. Stomach-hurting boss lady. 2 large bowls of mildly spicy food. Just add more vinegar. Xiao Chun, you brought your girlfriend here today. She's really beautiful. Sister Pang enthusiastically carried 2 stainless steel trays. Come over. This girl looks thin. Eat more. This meal, sister-in-law, is treated. Su Wanqing's face instantly flushed so red that her ears touched her ears, and she waved her hands repeatedly. No. Lin Chen replied with a smile. I am his creditor. He casually picked up the vinegar bottle. He poured a large round into Su Wanqing's bowl. Taste the soul of this place is in this vinegar. Lin Chen interrupted her like that. Su Wanqing stands negotiation pasture. Half of it leaked instantly. She hesitated. He still picked up a piece of baby cabbage and put it in his mouth. Spicy, scorching, sour, and refreshing. The intense taste stimulation made her cough lightly. Eat slowly and no one will grab it from you. Tears were streaming down my face. Ling Chen handed him a tissue. Su Wanqing took the tissue. Some of the wolfish ones wiped the corners of their mouths. At that moment, he took down his usually indestructible armor, revealing a lively sense of everyday life. Morning. Thank you. Not only did she save Duo, and then there's SKP. It has been stuck in our company's advertising space. Renewal. If you hadn't acquired SKP, Su Group's flagship new product launched next month. Maybe it's just a sunroof. At dawn, he was eating beef meatballs. He activated the golden eye at the same time. His gaze pierced through Su Wanqing's delicate face. Strings of red data flashed wildly above her head. The target was Su Wanqing, identity, president of Su Group. Extremely anxious in my current state. A new crisis at the end of strong crossbow. First, the capital chain is broken. It was set up by rival Tianxin Capital to be killed. The funding gap reached 800 million yuan. 3. Sign a bet agreement with the family's eldest sister-in-law, Elder Jing. If you can't turn a profit this quarter, he will be stripped of his CEO position and position, forced to marry the eldest son of Tianxin Capital. The countdown to the collapse scar before the marriage alliance is 12 hours. Ling Chen paused in his chewing motion. It's just too tragic. This is not a female CEO. It was practically Tang Monk's flesh roasted over a fire. Put down your chopsticks at dawn. She looked at him with a half-smile. President Su, please forgive my bluntness. What you're worried about now, it probably isn't about the venue for the press conference. As far as I know, on your company's books, I'm afraid it even covers the rent for SKB's factory. You probably can't even come up with it. Su Wanqing's chopsticks suddenly trembled. A quail egg fell back into the bowl. A few drops of red oil splashed up. It landed on the back of her fair hand. She didn't have time to wipe it off. The pupils shrank suddenly. Eyes fixed on Ling Chen. How do you know you're a corporate spy? The company's financial status is top secret, except for me and the CFO. Even the deputy general manager didn't know. I am your savior. Not a spy. At dawn, pull out a tissue. He naturally took her hand. Help her wipe the oil stains off the back of her hand. Her fingers are long. The moment the warmth touched Su Wanqing's cold skin, Su Wanqing shrank back as if shocked. But he didn't pull his hand back. And I don't just know you have no money. I also know why you're like this. It's because there's a ghost around you. Ghost. Su Wanqing's face turned deathly pale. At this moment, Su Wanqing's phone started vibrating wildly. Li Hao, caller ID design director. Su Wanqing glanced at Ling Chen. Ling Chen made a gesture of inviting him to leave. He picked up the phone. Ayu, directori. How is tomorrow's bid preparation? Something big happened. Our server was just hacked. All design drafts and data related to the universe's self-design, all were locked and destroyed. The backup hard drive is also broken. What is this possible? Our firewall is top-notch, and the backup disk is in your safe. How could it be bad? I don't know. Mr. Su will hold the bidding meeting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Now, it's simply too late to redo it. It seems Tianxin Capital has already prepared a plan. We're going to be finished. The phone slipped from Su Wanqing's hand, fell to the ground. He felt as if his spine had been slapped away. She went limp, wanted to sit down, just as he was about to fall onto the greasy-soaked ground. Ling Chen supported him with one hand. With his other hand, he calmly picked up the phone from the floor. He spoke to Director Li, who hadn't hung up yet. The Oscars owe you a little golden statuette. It doesn't matter who I am. The important one is Li Hao. You'd better pray for Tianxin Capital now. The 20 million settlement allowance for you. It's enough to buy you a decent wheelchair. After saying that, he hung up the phone at dawn. He threw the phone back on the table. Su Wanqing leaned against Ling Chen's chest, trembling all over. The eyes are empty. It's all over. That was my last chance to turn things around. No design drafts. Tomorrow is a default. I want to compensate 300 million. The Su family won't let me off. At this point, she was no longer the iceberg CEO, just a woman utterly helpless. What to panic? The sounds of early morning were mixed and chaotic. The night market was especially clear, steady, and carrying a reassuring magic. He straightened up Su Wanqing. Her hands were placed on her shoulders, forcing her to look into his own eyes. If you run out of design drafts, you can draw more. If the money is gone, you can earn it again, as long as the person is still alive. The game wasn't over yet. It's too late. Less than 10 hours remained. It was the result of dozens of designers working hard for 3 months. Who says it's too late? Ling Chen let go. He turned and picked up the pile of designer bags on the floor. A hunter's eyes flickered, the excited glow when seeing prey. Walk. Where to go? Go to your company. Since Li Hao said the data was ruined, then let me show him what a divine skill really is. By the way, tonight we'll play a ghost-catching game. Half an hour later, Jiangxing CBD Su Group building. The entire building was brightly lit. The design department was in complete chaos. Dozens of designers face each other. The computer with a black screen scratches its head. Someone is crying. Someone was cursing. Director Li Hao was standing in the center, pretending to direct technical staff for emergency repairs. But the corner of his eye kept alerting his watch from time to time. A faint, barely noticeable trace of pride lingered at the corner of his mouth. As long as we drag it out through tonight. Tomorrow, if Su Wanqing falls from grace, then I could take the money and become a vice president at Tianxin capital. At this moment, a commotion came from the doorway. When Li Hao saw Su Wanqing, he immediately put on a look of heartbroken anger. President Su, you finally arrived. I'm sorry for you. He did not see what he had anticipated. Su Wanqing was in utter despair. Su Wanqing strodin, although the corners of his eyes were still a bit red. But his presence was even sharper than usual. And beside her, followed by someone wearing Armani. But he was holding a bag in his hand. A young man in a takeout box for a spicy hot pot. This is President Su. Li Hao was momentarily stunned. I'm here to deliver food. Ling Chen casually took that bag. The spicy hot pot was placed on the conference table. Then he walked straight toward Li Hao. Li Hao felt uneasy under that look at Ling Chen. President Su is at this moment. You even brought outsiders to cause trouble. Director Li, your acting is really a bit too much. You say the server was hacked. The data is all destroyed. Of course. The technical department is rushing to repair it. Is it? Ling Chen turned and walked to a main control computer. His fingers quickly tapped several times on the keyboard. The host uses god-level hacking techniques. They are currently hacking into Yunshu network. What kind of hand speed is this? This is writing a reverse tracking program. Less than a minute. He pressed enter early in the morning. The previously pitch-black large screen instantly lit up. But what was shown was not a blueprint. Z times, but what is shown is not a blueprint M. ASEC is a replay of surveillance footage. Instead, it was a replay of surveillance footage. And a detailed screenshot of the chat log. The scene showed Li Hao half an hour ago. Insert a USB drive into the server host. And a note is being given as follows. A message from President Xiao of Tianxin. The entire venue fell into dead silence. All designers' eyes are sharp as knives. They all stabbed at Li Hao in unison. Li Hao's face instantly turned the color of pork liver. Cold sweat fell like rain. My legs trembled. This is synthesized. This is a false accusation. President Su, you don't believe me. Trust the delivery guy. Su Wanqing looked at the big screen. My heart was like a knife, but he was also furious to the extreme. She took a deep breath, pointing to the door. Security guard, confiscate this traitorous thing for me. Call the police immediately. What about it? It was the security guard, who had long lost patience, rushing forward. He directly pinned Li Hao to the ground. Su Wanqing, how dare you catch me? Without my design team. Tomorrow, you'll be dead just as well. I see how you turn the tables. The office fell into a desperate silence once again. This great God, now that you can restore surveillance, can the blueprints still be recovered? It is physical shattering. It can't be recovered. Those junk blueprints. If it is ruined, it will be destroyed. Bidding with that kind of thing. It's simply embarrassing. What did you say? That was our 3 months of hard work. Is there paintbrush? And paper? What are you doing? Ling Chen took the pen. He spun a beautiful stroke in his hand. At this moment, in his mind, the system mall reopened. Ding detected the host is facing a god-level rescue request. Whether to redeem. Exchange. A flood of emotions instantly flooded Ling Chen's eyes. Countless colors that transcend this era. Lines and composition. It was a visual shock from the future. He lowered his head. The pen tip touches the screen. Since you think it's the work of hard work, then tonight, I'll teach you. Was true art. Ling Chen said calmly while drawing. The next hour, the entire experience of the design department at Su Group. A collapse and reshaping of his worldview. The man they saw as a delivery man. Like a prototype printer, his hand speed was so fast that the afterimage appeared. Each piece is exquisitely beautiful. Extremely explosive concept images are born on screen. Comprehensive use of light and shadow perspective colors. It overturns existing design concepts. Yet so beautiful it takes your breath away. A perfect blend of cyberpunk and a national city. This lighting and shadow handling is amazing. God, this is a masterpiece. Just now, he was questioning Ling Chen's assistant. At this moment, he was already kneeling beside him, handing water to Ling Chen. When the final main visual is finished, Ling Chen dropped it and rubbed his wrist. On the screen was a poster titled Rebirth. On the ruins in the scene, a mechanical rose blooms in the pouring rain. That mood was just like Ling Chen himself. She also looked just like Su Wanqing in a desperate situation. Su Wanqing looked at the painting. Tears silently slid down. She turned to look at the person in the middle of it. A man who lowered his head to eat the cold, spicy hot pot. Don't be moved too soon. The drawing is done. Next, it's time to wind down the net. Tomorrow morning's bidding meeting. I want to let Tianxin Capital take it in. Spit it out with interest. He stood up. He walked up to the floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking the night view of Jiangchen. Mr. Su, Do you dare to play with me for a big game? Su Wanqing walked over to his side. Why or not? Even if he lost. At worst, I'll go deliver food with you. Delivery food. I'm afraid not. After all, my passenger seat is only in the boss's wife. Jiangxing International Convention and Exhibition Center. Morning sunlight on wine atop a massive glass dome. It reflects a cold and rational light. Today is a landmark project in Jiangxing New District. Final bidding day for the future city commercial complex. This is a piece of fatty meat worth tens of billions. It is about who can become Jiangxing, the business dominance of the next decade. Inside the parking lot, luxury cars gathered in crowds. A luxuriously packed neon green Lamborghini with a thunderous roar. He aggressively parked in the VIP designated parking space. He even cut the line. The car doors sprang up like scissors. One stepped down, dressed in a white suit. A young man with shiny, oily hair combed. Xiao Yutian is the heir to Tianjin capital. This time they want to take down the Su group. The mastermind driving him to the brink. Following behind him, it was Li Hao, who looked flattering. Su Shi, who had just bailed out last night. Former design director at Su. Xiao, don't worry. Su Wanqing's side was completely finished. I personally deleted the data. Even the hard drive was demagnetized with strong magnetism. Unless a great Luo golden immortal descends to her. Otherwise, she would have to embarrass herself by competing with her own work today. If you do well, wait until the Su family goes bankrupt. Su Wanqing, that proud woman. It's not for me to need. As he spoke, a black Audi A6 slowly drove in. That was Su Wanqing's ride. Compared to the surrounding supercars, this car seems too low-key. It was even somewhat shabby. Oh, isn't this our Su to beauty? The doors open. Su Wanqing came down. After a night of torment and reconstruction, she was in surprisingly good form today. She wore a sharply tailored navy blue professional outfit. She was already tall and slender. Her figure made her stand out even more. The anxiety of yesterday is no longer in the eyes of the double peach blossoms. Instead, it is a kind of bottomless composure. And in the driver's seat behind her, a young man walked down. It was the early hours of the night. Today, to cooperate with Su Wanqing, he deliberately changed into a dark gray business casual outfit. No tie was worn, yet it exudes a relaxed and lazy sense of luxury. He was carrying a silver metal password box. Inside was that astonishing masterpiece. Xiao said that a good dog wouldn't stand in his way. Su Wanqing was stubborn even at the brink of death. I heard your design department was crying and wailing last night. Even the servers were burned. Why is he planning to announce his withdrawal today? Then asked me to acquire your company. He greedily scanned Su Wanqing's figure. Actually, as long as you come to my room tonight, I can raise the purchase price by 10%. That person over there. Reduce bad breath. My boss is Smokey. Who the are you? Is this even a place where a driver can talk? Xiao is the food delivery guy from last night. He was the jinx. It ruins our good things. Deliver food. Su Wanqing, are you crazy? He brought a food delivery guy. Participate in bidding for projects worth billions. How? Are you planning to bribe the judges with spicy hot pot? A few other companies passing by. The representative couldn't help but let out a snicker. Ling Chen was not angry. He activated the golden eye. The target, Xiao Yutian, extremely confident in his condition. A bottle of blue pills. Bribe the judges. It's a bit interesting. Did the sea dog pills I ate last night expire? I see that your seal hall is black. Today, there might be a bloody disaster. And then there's Professor Zhang, the old grand student. His appetite was huge. Your little team money. How does this kid know about Kai Gumaru? What's more, how did he know about Professor Zhang's situation? Before he could react, Ling Chen was already holding Su Wanqing's arm, like avoiding two piles of trash. He headed straight for the elevator shaft. Su Wanqing asked curiously in the elevator. What did you just tell him? Why did his face look so grim? It's nothing. He had his fortune told. Mr. Su, just talk about your PPT later. I'll take care of the rest. Well, the atmosphere in the bidding hall was tense and tense. 5 judges sat upright on the podium. The elderly man with a striking head in the middle. It was none other than Professor Zhang, an industry authority. The audience was filled with leading figures from Jiangxing's business world. The back row was filled with media reporters with long guns and short cannons. Now, let's invite Tianjin Capital to present the proposal. The solution presented by Tianjin Capital is an urban oasis. We will build an integrated ecosystem, environmental protection, a sky garden integrating technology. Shangwu Tower in Shangwan City Garden is painted complete. The Shangwu Tower plan will completely complete the skyline garden of Feijiang City. This plan will completely transform the River City skyline. Su Wanqing's expression changed. Is that our original plan? although Li Hao deleted the Su family source files. But he brought the photocopy to Xiao Yuqian, except the name was changed. The content was basically the same as before the Su group. A pixel-level copy of that design draft. Shameless. Wanqing gritted her teeth. On stage, Li Hao served as the keynote speaker. He was speaking with great enthusiasm. This double helix structure in the air. The corridor is our original pet. This glass honey wall is powered by photosynthesis. It is also our exclusive idea. Ling Chen, who was in the audience, sneered. Take out your phone. His finger quickly tapped a few times on the screen. The system commands to intrude into the venue's projection system. The connection was successful. Since you want to play plagiarism, then I'll let you copy it clearly. On stage, Li Hao was reaching a climax. This is the result of 6 months of hard work by our team. Absolutely unique. At this moment, the big screen suddenly flickered. It turned into a huge split-screen comparison interface. On the left is the urban oasis currently being demonstrated. To the right, it was actually the Su group. Video of the internal meeting minutes from 3 months ago. The video clearly shows the time markings. The Su design team in the footage. Exactly the same image is being discussed. The audience was instantly silent. Immediately after, an uproar erupted. Damn it! Wasn't this Su's previous plan? Even the color scheme is the same. This must have been stolen directly. What's going on? Who switched the screen? Turn it off. Turn it off quickly. Li Hao on stage looked like a duck with its neck grabbed. The voice suddenly stopped. He stared at the big screen in terror. Cold sweat instantly soaked his back. Technician, what exactly are you doing? Believe it or not, I'll hit you. I didn't move. The computer is out of control. It seems to be poisoned. Before they could even fumble to unplug the power supply, suddenly, a line of blood-red characters popped up on the big screen. Epitaph of the Thief. The original creator is dead. Not because you can only pick up trash. Then the screen went black. Everything is back to normal. Ling Chen sat in the audience. Hide your merits and fame. Put away your phone. I also wrapped a mint candy in my way. Does this count as a broadcast accident? No, that's what you call heating up the venue. Look at Professor Zhang's face, all green. Sure enough, Professor Zhang at the judges' table was now sitting on pins and needles. Originally, he had taken the money to give Tiansheng a high score. Now, the plagiarism with solid evidence is right in front of hundreds of people. If he dared to accept the guarantee, tomorrow, his reputation will be ruined. Professor Zhang braced himself and picked up the microphone. Tianjin Capital's plan is seriously controversial. Temporarily rescheduled. Next, the Su group was chosen. Kid, it's your doing, isn't it? You wait for me. Out of this door. I'll make you die in the street. Remember to bring extra tissues later. I'm afraid you'll cry too badly. Su Wanqing took a deep breath and stood up. At that moment, all eyes in the audience were focused on her. There was sympathy, and some were watching the show. There are also doubts. After all, that recent car crash farce. This has made everyone curious about Su's new plan. Su Wanqing walked up to the stage. I didn't take a USB drive. Primer didn't bring un papel materials. She simply stood quietly at the center of the stage. The light shone on her, like a queen about to be crowned. Everybody, just now, everyone saw the so-called urban oasis. That's right. That was once a waste of the Su group's manuscript. Why is it considered a wasted draft? Because it is too outdated. In order not to waste everyone's time. Assistant Ling, let's go. He opened the silver metal box, but he did not take out the documents. Instead, he took out a black crystal about the size of a fist. This is a portable holographic projection redeemed in the system shop. The 2035 version is priced at 5 million yuan. Ling Chen placed the crystal center stage. Have you seen that thing before? The next second, a ghostly blue beam shot up into the sky, spread instantly. The entire hall of the convention center was enveloped. The once bright venue instantly dimmed. Instead, it is a levitation, a vast and realistic virtual city in the sky. No longer a rigid PPT. It's no longer just a flat rendering. Everyone seemed to instantly travel through time and space. Step into a cyberpunk-style, futuristic city. Huge neon signs flashed overhead. Anti-gravity aerial orbit, weaving through the skyscrapers. Every brick, every tile is clearly visible. You can even see virtual pedestrians. The expression of walking down the street. And at the very center of it all, a building like a blooming mechanical lotus, slowly spinning. That is the Su family's new plan, the Rebirth Lotus. Oh my god, what kind of technology is this? Naked eye, 3D. This is a holographic projection. No, I saw something. Is this a Hollywood blockbuster set? This design is absolutely explosive. Compared to this, that city oasis from earlier. It's practically a rural outhouse. The whole venue erupted. The reporters snapped their shutters like crazy. The flash illuminated the scene as if it were daytime. Su Wanqing stood inside the huge virtual lotus, like a fairy among flowers. She stretched out her hand, gently toggled the virtual interface. The entire building instantly disassembled and reassembled, showcasing the inner charm. A breathtaking commercial ecosystem flow. We do not define the future. We create the future. There is no suspense. This is a massacre, a dimensionality reduction strike from the dimension. Just now, he was trying to find Professor Zhang, who was cheating. At this moment, his mouth dropped open. Even her dentures were about to fall out. In the face of such a miracle, if he dares to say a word, it was probably tore apart by the passionate crowd at the scene. Out. Perfect. This is a work of genius. Applause thundered like thunder. Prolonged. Xiao Yutian's face turned ashen. She collapsed in her chair. He knew it was over. No matter how much money he has, no matter how strong the relationship, faced with such absolute, overwhelming strength, it all became a joke. Su Wanqing looked at the frenzied crowd below, her eyes slightly reddened. She looked toward Ling Chen. The man was leaning in the shadows at the edge of the stage. He was playing with a crystal worth 500 cubic meters. He glanced at her. He lip-synced. The boss lady is impressive. I hereby announce the winning bidder for the Future City project. Su Group. Bidding closed. Su Group holds an absolute advantage. Secured the Future City project. As soon as the news came out, Su's stock price, which had originally hit the daily limit down, instantly collapsed. Pull out a straight board. Seal the daily limit. In front of the Convention and Exhibition Center, Su Wanqing was surrounded by countless reporters. Su Wanqing struggled to squeeze through the crowd. Look around. She was looking for Ling Chen, but that greatest hero. But now, he had vanished without a trace. The back alley of the convention center. Ling Chen was leaning against the wall smoking. Two people knelt before him. One was Li Hao, bruised and battered. One was Zhao Qianyu, trembling with fear. And standing around them, a dozen or so wore black suits. A burly man wearing sunglasses. Leading the group was the high-interest loan shark Tiger brother, who had just surrendered last night. He was now the captain of the security team under Ling Chen's command. You spare me. I am the only seedling of the Xiao family. I'll give you whatever money you want. Do you think I'm short on money? Ling Chen smiled. Take out a check. He filled in a string of numbers. He threw it right in Xiao Yutian's face. That's 10 million, just like what you said earlier. Emotional distress compensation for food delivery workers. Of course, you should compensate me. I'll pay for it, right? I'm not short of money, but I hate when people owe me money. Ling Chen's eyes turned cold. Brother who grinned as he approached the early morning. Brother who will teach Xiao how to write an IOU. Interest. Just calculate it at the rate he loses in Macau. All right, young Master Ling. Don't worry, I'm familiar with this business. Where are you at Qinshan? The celebration banquet began immediately. You are the main character. If you don't come, I'm not happy. Forget the celebration banquet. I don't like that kind of occasion. President Su, don't forget our agreement. Save the front passenger seat for me. At dawn, I don't want anything in the front passenger seat. I want you to be the driver. Drive a car for a lifetime. Do you want to? This was a phrase that was almost a confession. Ling Chen was momentarily stunned. Then he laughed. This icy female CEO melts away a bit fast. Just as he was about to make a few lines of teasing an eye. Suddenly, the system in his mind. A piercing red alert was issued. Notice the host frequently using special abilities. It has been identified by secret monitoring authorities. Advanced monitoring agencies have identified targets. The target was early morning. The risk level has reached its highest. The smile at the corner of Ling Chen's mouth instantly froze. The warmth in his eyes faded. In its place was a surge of murderous intent. The old dog of the Xiao family. Hit the small one. Here comes the old one. He said to Su Wanqing on the other end of the phone. Wanqing's celebration banquet was canceled. Go home immediately. Lock the doors and windows. I'll take all of Brother Who's people. Transfer to the area around your villa. No matter what sounds you hear, don't come out. What's wrong early morning? Don't scare me. Listen to me if there's nothing wrong. Wait for me to pass. Good. Brother Who is sending everyone to President Su's villa now. Not a single fly is allowed in. Understood, young Masterling. It's just that some dirt needs to be cleaned up. This time, I want to make the entire Jiangsheng. The underworld knows who the true king is. The CBD in Jiangsheng remains bustling and bustling. Neon lights paint the night sky a warm purplish red. However, behind the convention center, that old industrial area awaiting demolition. But the air seemed to freeze into a block of lead. The black helicopter didn't fly right away. Instead, it looks like a circling vulture. After circling for 2 weeks, it hovered over it. on the rooftop of an abandoned, unfinished building a kilometer away, standing at an empty intersection in the early morning. The cigarette between his fingertips had burned to its limit. Come out, as a top international assassin organization, and hide in the gutter like a mouse. There was a dead silence all around. Suddenly, there was a sense of flavor, a faint sound of air being cut through the air, like a sigh from the god of death. If it is an ordinary person, at this moment, it had already been specially made by that one. The armor-piercing shell lifted the crown. But Ling Chen is no ordinary person. Within his golden eyes field of vision, that bullet came at 3 times the speed of sound. At this moment, it was trailing a long, thermal imaging afterflame. Slow as a snail. At dawn, he didn't even move his feet. He just tilted his head slightly. The magnitude is so small it can be almost negligible. Bullets grazed his hair and flew past. He drove it hard behind him. Inside that concrete pillar, it blasted a deep pit the size of a bowl. Is that all there is to it? Ling Chen looked up. His gaze crossed a distance of 500 meters. Locked onto precisely. The sniper hiding behind the billboard. The rumored top monitors are no exception. The top floor of an abandoned building 500 meters away. A sniper codenamed Dokafeng uses a night vision scope, looking at the one still standing in place. He even pointed at the man who was flipping the finger over here. Cold sweat instantly soaked through the combat uniform. Report to the captain. Target 1 dodged. Repeat. He dodged. That was the M200 sniper rifle. The distance is 500 meters. How can it be? The captain's snake came through the earpiece. A voice cold and filled with disbelief. Group E. Group C takes action and killed him at close range. Don't give him a chance to catch his breath. Roger that. As the order was given. In the darkness surrounding the old industrial area, in an instant, 12 black, ghostly shadows shot out. They were full exoskeleton tactical armor, holding a tactical submachine gun with a silencer, and 7 high-frequency vibrations. Their movements were neat and synchronized, like a pack of silent wolves. At midnight, they were encircling from all directions. Ling Chen stood at the center of the encirclement. There was not a trace of fear on his face. Instead, a hint of bloodthirsty excitement appeared. System. I want to buy something. Detected host in S-class combat environment. Mall intelligent recommendation has started. The absolute defense shield is sold for 50 million in one go. It can withstand all attacks except nuclear bombs. Last 10 minutes. The Terminator T-800 trial card costs 150 million yuan per hour. Level 8 Grandmaster permanently costs 200 million. Initial price for psychotic control is 500 million. Ling Chen looked at the price. The corners of his mouth curled up with a cruel arc. I choose Bajiquan. Ding 200 million has been deducted. Currently instilling memories into the Baji Quan master's body. A terrifying current of heat instantly swept through Ling Chen's entire body. His bones cracked like popping beans. His originally long muscles instantly tensed. Within every inch of muscle fiber, it was as if they were compressing a force powerful enough to shatter mountains. At this moment, the 2 assassins charging at the front had already arrived. 2 high-frequency vibrates that gleam coldly. One on the left, one on the right, stabbing straight into Ling Chen's throat and heart. Too slow. Level 8 Iron Mountain support. Ling Chen didn't even throw a punch, but his shoulders felt a slight heaviness. Finally, he suddenly charged at the assassin on the left. A dull cracking sound that made one's teeth ache. The one wearing Kevlar bulletproof vests. Even assassins equipped with exoskeleton armor. It was like being struck by a high-speed train speeding by. Head-on impact. His whole body was sent flying backward like a cannonball. It smashed through a red brick wall by the roadside. The remaining 10 assassins suddenly stopped in their tracks. His eyes were filled with shock. Open fire, open fire. Don't let him get close. Captain Snake roared wildly through the earpiece. Countless tongues of fire instantly spewed out. A dense rain of bullets poured down into the early morning. But Ling Chen moved. Movement skills with level 8 support. He was like a ghostly bolt of lightning, weaving through a hail of bullets. The golden eye was pushed to its limit. The trajectory of every bullet. In his eyes, all were clearly visible lines. Bullets that can't be avoided. He even reached out directly to help. Ling Chen's fingers were as fast as lightning. He actually managed to catch a bullet midair. Monster. He is a monster. Throw bullets in the early hours. His figure suddenly sprang up. Now it's my turn. The next 3 minutes. It was a one-sided massacre. Ling Chen's figure was like the scythe of death. Wherever they go, someone will fall. He brought the strength of Baji Quan to its limit. Heart-tipping elbow king, yin, 3-point standing earth-piercing cannon. Every movement is simple and direct. Yet it contains destructive power. The exoskeleton armor was in front of him, as fragile as paper. A killer tried to attack with a rocket launcher. But before he even pulled the trigger, Ling Chen kicked and broke his arm. The rocket launcher fell to the ground. With a bang, he blew that assassin up into the sky. When the last assassin was kicked away by Ling Chen, the entire neighborhood returned to dead silence. Ling Chen stood in the center of the battlefield. The Armani suit he was wearing, not even a drop of blood was stained, only in those deep eyes, burning with a golden flame that has yet to fade. He looked up, looking toward the top of the abandoned building. There's still one last big fish there. On the top floor of the building, the leech's hand was trembling. He worked as a mercenary for 20 years. He killed warlords in the Philippines, blue oil fields in the Middle East. What a ruthless character I haven't seen. But like in the early morning, manual work within 3 minutes. Wipe out a fully armed elite squad. He had never heard of it, and withdrew. Retreat immediately. The intelligence is wrong. This is not an S-class. This is an SSS-level suicide mission. The leech snake shouted wildly into the earpiece, while rapidly disassembling the sniper rifle. Get ready to escape via zipline. Just as he turned around, a cold voice sounded behind him. It's all here. Not staying for a cup of tea. The snake's hair stood on end. He suddenly pulled the Desert Eagle from his thigh. He turned around and fired a shot. Bang! But Ling Chen disappeared. The next second, the snake felt a chill on its wrist. The pain came. His right hand, along with the Desert Eagle. They all fell to the ground in a single sweep. The incision is smooth as a mirror. And in front of him, Ling Chen was playing with a thin piece in his hand. Rusty iron plates stained with blood. It was a can he had casually picked up from the ground. Fragments pick leaves and scatter flowers, all of which can be killed. The snake clutches the severed wrist. Screaming in agony, he knelt on the ground. His eyes were filled with despair and fear. Don't kill me. I am the head of Black Mamba's Asia region. You killed me. The Black Mamba will hunt you to the ends of the earth. Ling Chen looked down at him from above. It was like watching an ant threaten him. At dawn, I set my breath. He patted the snake's sweating face with that piece of iron. Do you know what I hate the most? It's people threatening me with things. For example, money. Ling Chen took out his phone. An interface opened. That was the dark web the system had just unlocked. Heavenly Eye access permissions. The Black Mamba Killer Organization. Headquarters located on a small island in the Pacific Ocean. Total assets are about $30 billion US. Current leader. And was codenamed the King of Poison. His true identity is the illegitimate son of a declining European noble. Ling Chen read the information on his phone. With every word recited, the snake's face grew paler. How do you know this? This is a core secret. Ling Chen ignored him. Fingers raced across the screen. Confirm the activation of the global network. Advanced access to the headquarters backend. All resource transfers are suspended. Additionally, a new task was issued to all relevant personnel. 3 seconds later, B-Snake's specially made communicator suddenly vibrated wildly. It's not just him. At this moment, distributed all over the world. Over 3,000 Black Mamba killers. At the same time, a highest-level red directive was received. The highest bounty order targets the entire Xiao family. He focused on self-labeling Xiao Yutian and bullying Xiao Gang's employer. Codename, Bounty $1 billion. Additional terms, whoever can take Xiao Gang's head. Who will be the next leader of the Black Mamba? The current leader is the Poison King. It has been acquired by a major tycoon for $50 billion. The organization has now been renamed Shinfa. The leech snake muttered to itself. It feels like my worldview has collapsed. He never dreamed of this. Some people can directly buy out the assassin organization. Unbelief. Ling Chen stood up and clapped his hands. If you don't believe it, you can check your bank. As a greeting gift, I just gave it to every living killer. He paid a $1 million renaming fee. B-Snake's phone rang. Notification of $1 million US arriving. At that moment, the leech snake's gaze toward Ling Chen changed. No longer fear. It was a fervent worship. Boss. The leech snake ignored the intense pain of the broken hand. He kowtowed sharply. The floor was banging loudly. His subordinates have eyes, but no beads. I am willing to go through fire and water for the boss. That old man Xiao Gang. I'm going to kill him now. Ling Chen looked at him coldly. Your hand is broken. He is a useless person. I do not support useless people. The bee-snake faces turned ashen. But I have a pill here. Eat it. Your hands can grow, and your strength will be tripled. A black pill appeared in Ling Chen's hand. Primary regeneration pill. System all price, 50 million. But this medicine is toxic. The antidote needs to be taken every 3 months. If you betray me, I eat. The snake grabbed the pill without hesitation. He swallowed it. A miraculous scene unfolded. The flesh buds at the severed wrist of the leech snake twitched. He actually stopped the bleeding and became obsessed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Regeneration. Miracles. This is a miracle. The leech snake wept bitterly. Ling Chen turned around, heading toward the edge of the building. Clean up the bodies here. I don't want tomorrow. I saw any reports of gunfights in the news. And notify everyone. I want to take my time with the Xiao family. Don't kill them all at once. First, cut off their funding chain. And cut off their connections. In the end, they were made to kneel at the entrance of the Su group, begging for death. Yes, sir. After tonight, the Xiao family will be completely erased from the underworld. Ling Chen leapt forward. He jumped straight from a 30-story building. In midair, activated the newly exchanged anti-gravity glider, like a giant black bat, gliding away into the night. Half an hour later, Su Wanqing's private villa was brightly lit. In the living room, Su Wanqing curled up on the sofa, hugging a pillow. The TV was on, but she didn't pay attention at all. Duo beside him had already fallen asleep. Tears still hang at the corners of her eyes. At midnight, you must not be in trouble. Su Wanqing pressed her hands together with a plus. Pray silently. At this moment, the sound of a fingerprint lock unlocking came from the main gate. Welcome, come home. Su Wanqing suddenly sprang up. He didn't even bother to put on his shoes. Barefoot, he rushed toward the door. The door opened, and I stood at the doorway at dawn, holding a box of steaming crayfish in his hand. Sorry for coming back late. Passing by the night market. Look at this crayfish shop, pretty good. So I bought a bit on the spot. And it's still from 13 Fragrance. Su Wanqing could no longer control her emotions. He threw himself into Ling Chen's arms. She hugged his waist tightly. Tears instantly soaked his shirt. Where have you been? Do you know how worried I am? I heard the sound of helicopters. I still think. Ling Chen was momentarily stunned. Then he gently stroked her long hair. Fool. Didn't I say it? He looked up, looking out at the night sky. The dark clouds there have already dispersed. A bright moon was revealed. From now on, the Knights of Jiangsheng, I have the final say. No one can hurt you anymore. Su Wanqing looked up. She looked at him with tearful eyes. Morning. Who are you? Ling Chen lowered his head and kissed away the tears at the corner of her eyes. I am your tycoon, also your knight. Meanwhile, at the other end of the river city, the Xiao family mansion, Xiao Yutian's father, Xiao Gang, chairman of Xiao Group, was sitting in the study, anxiously waiting for good news. Why haven't you replied yet? What is that useless guy doing? Xiao Gang stubbed out his cigar hard in the ashtray. Suddenly, the study door was slammed open. The butler staggered in. His face was full of horror. What to panic? Is the sky falling? Xiao Gang shouted angrily. Master. It's the young master sighed. The butler trembled as he handed over a tablet. You see, the dark web is full of bounties about our family. Stock plunges 90%. More than a dozen major shareholders just called at the same time to withdraw their shares. Xiao Gang grabbed the tablet and glanced at it. Suddenly, the world felt spinning. He spat out a mouthful of old blood. Only the dark web homepage. Hanging his enlarged headshot. Below was a line of bloody words. The entire internet hunted down the entire Xiao clan. A bounty of $1 billion. Who? Who did this to you? Xiao Gong roared, like a dying beast. At that moment, the phone in the study rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Xiao Gang answered the call, trembling. A voice altered came from the other end. Yet the voice still carried endless chill. Xiao Dong. Good evening. I heard you're looking for a black mamba to kill me. Pity. The black mamba now has the surname Ling. Enjoy this final night. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, it will be the end of your Xiao family. The phone ended. The receiver in Xiao Gang's hand slipped down. He collapsed limp into the chair. The eyes are empty. Outside the window, the brilliant lights that once belonged to the Xiao family were shining brightly. At this moment, it seemed to become a guiding light leading to hell. Mornings in Jiangsheng are usually busy and orderly. But today, the air throughout the city is everywhere. It was all filled with a breathtaking madness. It all stemmed from that mysterious organization called the Divine Clan. The bounty posted last night on the dark web. $1 billion. This sum is enough to buy half a small African country. The global underground world was completely boiling over. Xiao Group headquarters building. This place once symbolized the glass skyscraper of Jiangsheng's top elite. At this moment, they were surrounded so tightly that not even a drop of water could pass. But the people gathered at the gate were not reporters, nor are they migrant workers demanding wages. Instead, it was a group of fierce eyes, an unknown figure with a bulging waist. Top floor chairman's office. Xiao Gang seemed to have aged 10 years overnight. He slumped down on that $1 million Wang Wally wooden chair. Messy hair. His eyes were bloodshot. He was tightly wiping a satellite phone in his hand. Feed? The chairman is me, old Xiao. I don't ask for anything else. Please send the SWAT team to protect me. The signal is not good. What signal is bad? Feed? Xiao Gang angrily smashed the satellite phone against the floor-to-ceiling window. Bang! The bulletproof glass was smashed into a white spot, reflecting the dense crowd below the building. A crowd as numerous as ants. At this moment, the office was covered with a heavy rosewood door. He was kicked away from the outside. The one who walked in wasn't a killer, but his secretary. But at this moment, this female secretary, who usually obeys him completely. He was holding a cardboard box with a cold expression. Mr. Xiao, this is your resignation letter. I've already printed it out for you. Sign it. The secretary threw a piece of paper at Xiao Gang's face. Other than that, everyone in the company's finance department has already left. Before leaving, everyone put the money into the company account. The remaining 3 million yuan in cash was divided. Consider it severance pay. You dare to rebel. Xiao Gang was trembling with anger. I am the chairman. I'm not dead yet. The secretary sneered. Push the glasses. Xiao Dong, don't be naive. Now, Xiao Group stock has fallen to the point of worthless paper. The bank froze all assets. Even the building's water and electricity bills were in arrears for 3 months. You are a negative asset right now. Who still recognizes you as the chairman? After saying this, the secretary didn't even look back. Before leaving, he even casually took the pure gold pen holder from the table. You give me back. Put down my gold pen. Xiao Gang roared, trying to chase after him. But 2 burly men blocked the way at the door. That was the bodyguard he had paid a fortune to hear. Chairman Xiao, save your effort. The 2 of us haven't left yet. It's because someone offered a higher price. Let's watch you. Who is who? The bodyguard said nothing. He simply turned to the side and respectfully made way. At the end of the hallway, a steady footsteps came. Leather shoes stepped on marble floors. It made a crisp clicking sound. Each strike felt like stepping on the heart of the Xiao father and son. A young man wearing a deep blue custom suit. He was holding the arm of a cool and elegant beauty with an extraordinary aura. He strolled in as if strolling leisurely. Behind him, following a large group of elite-suited elites. Everyone was carrying a briefcase. It looks like a professional anime team. Entering the office at dawn, he glanced around at this space that was exquisitely luxurious. Finally, the light fell on Xiao Gang's deathly pale face. This is the office of the richest man in Jiangchen. His taste is a bit tacky. This golden cicada ornament must be gilded. Ling Chen casually picked up Jean's cicada from the table. She shook it in disdain. Then, with a loud smack, he threw it into the trash. Ling Dawn. Xiao Gang stared intently at the man in front of him. The poison in his eyes was about to overflow. It's you. It's your bounty notice. You demon. What exactly do you want to do? Hitting someone is not enough to touch the ground on the head. What you're doing is illegal. Ling Chen pulled over a chair. He invited Su Wanqing to sit down. He himself lazily leaned against the edge of his desk. Last night, when you sent assassins to kill me, why haven't you thought about it? How? Only state officials are allowed to set fires. The people are not allowed to light lamps. Ling Chen snapped his fingers. A lawyer behind him stepped forward, opened the briefcase. He took out a thick stack of documents. He spread it out in front of Xiao Gang. Xiao Dong, introduce yourself. I am Mr. Ling Chen's chief legal representative. The lawyer pushed up his glasses. According to our calculations, Xiao Group currently has debts of 23 billion yuan. Asset valuations are affected by force majeure. The current valuation is minus 5 billion. Originally, this was a company undergoing bankruptcy liquidation. But my boss, Mr. Lin Chen, is kind-hearted, willing to invest in acquisitions. Acquisition. Xiao Gang seemed to grasp at a lifeline. What conditions are you willing to offer? As long as it can be properly resolved, I can entrust the company to you. Lin Chen smiled. He held up a finger. 10 billion. Xiao Gang's eyes lit up. Ling Chen shook his head. Plus billion. At dawn, he still shook his head. 100 million. Xiao Gang's heart sank to the bottom of the valley. Ling Chen put away his smile. He pulled out a hard cigarette from his pocket. It was a coin long out of circulation. Rusty penny coins. When a coin spins on the table, there is a screeching, grinding sound. In the end, he fell in front of Xiao Gang. Buy all the businesses your family, including this building. All the shares in the property and car under your name. And the clothes you're wearing. Su Wanqing said calmly. You are too bullying. Xiao Gang slammed the table and stood up. Get rid of all of that. I will never hand it over to you. Deal with it. You can stick to it. But let me remind you. The large crowd gathered downstairs have been waiting for a long time. Xiao Gang froze instantly. This is an unsolvable multiple-choice question. Zhao Yutian was utterly shocked. He crawled over and hugged Xiao Gang's leg. Sign it. I want to live well. I don't want to be scared like this anymore. Crying so hard that my snot and tears were everywhere. Looking at his son, looking so useless. The light in Xiao Gang's eyes completely went out. You are so ruthless. Xiao Gang's hands trembled. He picked up the pen. At the moment of signing, he felt his soul being drained. A kingdom that has fought for its entire life. And so, at the price of 1 cent, sold to this one. He once saw him as Lu Yi's food delivery man. Is that right? At dawn, he picked up the signed contract. He didn't even glance at it. He handed it directly to Su Wanqing behind him. Do you like the gift Wanqing gave you? Su Wanqing held the heavy document. This was once a giant that nearly killed the Su family. Right now. And so, without a second thought, he became her own bag. Mourning. This is too valuable. Su Wanqing felt it was somewhat unreal. What do the family say? Besides, I can't be bothered with these lousy companies. From now on, you'll be part of the Xiao group. Oh, now he was called the chairman of the Lin family's tycoon first branch. Ling Chen stood up. He patted Xiao Gang on the shoulder. It was as if he were comforting a stray dog. Come on, stop crying. To celebrate the success of the acquisition, I've decided to bring you two again. Go experience life. Experience what? Xiao Gang had a bad feeling about this. Shopping is loud. Ling Chen snapped his fingers. The system activates a humiliating consumption mode of tycoons. Detected that the host is currently undertaking a high-satisfying story quest. He demanded it in front of the Xiao father and son. They bought everything they once wanted, but couldn't bear to buy, and pursued them to be porters. An hour later, the largest luxury car dealership in Jiangqing. Here, you'll find the world's finest luxury cars. This used to be Xiao Yutian's favorite place to show off. But every time he came, I only dared to look at those entry-level models costing several million. As for the very center of the exhibition hall, that Bugatti worth 10 to 20 million. The sound of the night. He didn't even dare to touch it. But today he came. But in the capacity of a porter, Xiao Yutian was wearing a torn shirt. Sweating profusely, he followed behind Ling Chen. Xiao Gang, on the other hand, acted like an old servant, timidly lowering his head. Xiao, does this car look familiar? Ling Chen, pointing at that Bugatti. I heard you were last time for this car. I've been begging your dad for half a year. Your dad didn't buy it for you. Xiao Yutian swallowed hard. His eyes were full of longing and urgency. Yes. Do you like it? If you like it, take a second look. At dawn, I walked over to the car. He patted the car hood. Because from now on, you can only drive in your dreams. Swipe the full amount of card. No need for a test drive. Just hand me the car keys. After speaking, Ling Chen turned to look at the sales manager. Mr. Lin is perfectly fine. The manager was so excited he understood. Ling Chen took the car keys. Then, under Xiao Yutian's desperate gaze, he casually tossed the key to brother who behind him. Huzi will go buy groceries and open this one in the future. Don't drive that broken gold car. Lose face. Petrochemical throughout the field. A Bugatti grocery truck worth 10 to 20 million yuan is given to bodyguards. Brother who held the keys. Tears flowed. He immediately knelt before Ling Chen on the spot. Boss, from now on, I will fully support you. Live up to your trust. At this moment, Xiao Yutian felt worse than eating. The miracle car he had been dreaming of. He was actually casually given to a thug by Ling Chen. Don't worry, things aren't over yet. Ling Chen continued moving forward. I want that Rolls-Royce Phantom. Give it to Mr. Su as a commuter car. That Ferrari was bought. Her complexion was too provocative. Spray it black when you go back. And that power of Aston Martin. Packed it up for the cleaning lady at my company. Each person is assigned one vehicle. This makes commuting easier for them. Just half an hour. In the early hours, it swept through the entire car dealership. Total consumption reached 800 million yuan. Xiao Gang and Xiao Yutian follow behind. Her hands are filled with all kinds of luxury car giveaways, car wraps, and perfumes. Exhausted like two dead dogs. Every time I watch it, I swipe my card once in the early morning. Their hearts twitch once. Xiao Gang finally collapsed and was soaked. Kneeling on the ground, Tao wailed loudly. Mourning. Please don't buy any more. We were wrong. Give us a good time. Ling Chen stopped in his tracks. Joyfully. Back then, you drove me out of the Lin family. Let me deliver food in the pouring rain. Have you ever given me a quick one? Brother who then sent these two useless guys to the police station. Tell the director. He arranged a deluxe single room for them. Additionally, find a few warm roommates to take good care of them. I heard young Master Xiao has delicate skin and tender flesh. It should be very durable. Ling Chen's gaze instantly turned icy and piercing. Understood. Young Master Ling was reassured. I understand all the rules inside. Brother who grinned. They dragged the Xiao father and son out like a dead dog. Zhao Yutian's desperate screams echoed throughout the exhibition hall. Eventually, they gradually faded away. After dealing with the Xiao family, Ling Chen let out a long sigh of relief. Su Wanqing walked over to his side, gently linking arms with his. Unhappy? No, I just feel a bit bored. The Xiao family collapsed too quickly. It was not challenging at all. Su Wanqing smiled. If someone else hears you say that, he was probably going to be beaten to death. That was the Xiao family, the sky of Jiangxing. Now the sky has changed. Ling Chen held her hand. Let's go. I'll take you somewhere. Where to? Go check out your new office. Just as the two were about to leave, suddenly, Ling Chen's phone rang. It is an encrypted number with no place of ownership. Ling Chen frowned slightly. He answered the phone. Who is it? On the other end of the phone, an old yet powerful voice rang out. He carried an air of authority that had long held a high position. Youngster, I have to say, you caused quite a stir in Jiangxing these past few days. Ling Chen narrowed his eyes. Who are you? Unimportant, the old man said calmly. The important thing is that you touched the Xiao family. Although Xiao Gang, that useless man, deserved to die. But after all, he was a dog I raised. So it was the little one who hit me. So I came. You want to issue a bounty too? Ling Chen showed no fear at all. Instead, he was a bit excited. Ha, bounty offered. That kind of low-level game. I don't play with young people, although you have some money. He also has some skill. But in the face of real power, money is just numbers. Military power is just brutes. I am the steward of the Yi family in the capital. My young master has the tycoon system in your hands. It's your ability to generate funds out of thin air. Here's some advice. 3 days later, the Yi family will send people to Jiangxing to take over the Zhao family's affairs. I hope you'll be a bit sensible then. Hand over what you have in your hands. Hung up the phone after a call. Ling Chen stood there holding his phone. I didn't speak for a long time. The Yi family in the capital. That was truly the top aristocratic clan of Xia Kingdom. Legend. A giant controlling the lifeblood of the national economy. Compared to the Yi family, the Zhao family really is worse than a dog. And they seem to sense the system's presence. Morning. What's wrong? Whose phone? Su Wanqing sensed something was wrong with Ling Chen. He asked worriedly. Ling Chen snapped back to reality. The heaviness in his eyes instantly faded. Instead, there was an even more fervent fighting spirit. It's nothing. An arrogant old man. Ling Chen put his phone back in his pocket. Looking north. That was the direction of the capital. Wanqing, it seems our leisure time is over. The upcoming game might be a bit exciting. The system detected the host as a precursor to a world-class crisis. System upgrade task triggered. A top-tier tycoon. Target. Before the Yi family arrived. Elevate your power, wealth, military strength, and connections to the world. Reward 1. Foresee the future. 1 blueprint for the science and technology military factory. Reward 2. Can recruit 100 absolutely loyal gene warriors. Unlimited flow of funds points is enabled. All expenses within 1 hour. No matter how big or small the amount is. Not only is there no deduction. Instead, they offer double rebates. Ling Chen smiled, laughing without restraint. Laughing wildly like a hedgehog. Want to play economic blockade? Then I'll use the money. I'll smash a hole in your Yi family's capital. Ling Chen took Su Wanqing's hand, striding toward the newly purchased Bugatti. Walk. Go spend money. Tonight, I want to double the GDP of the entire Jiangxing.